good afternoon, and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to talk about a product that you may have heard of, you may not have. If you're in the U.S., it's going to be more of a mystery product to you. If you're in Italy or somewhere in Europe, you might be fairly familiar with this product. It's called onion jam. And I made some caramelized onion jam. The neighbors were having a cookout, and I got invited. And of course, you don't want to show up empty-handed, and I'm not going to just bring a bag of chips. A, I don't have a bag of chips, and B, that's kind of a cheap get-out of jail card-free thing. So this morning, I made a batch of this onion jam. And I took a jar like this up there, and there was 6 people at the cookout. The jar is gone. It went over really well. But this is our onion jam. That's what it looks like. I'll get a spoonful out so you can see it. It's made of chopped red onions. And you can eat it just like that. It is just so good. And there's a lot of variations we can do with this. Now I use my red onions, my lungas and my tropillas. Different kinds of our red onions here. We need 4 pounds of these chopped onions for this recipe. My recipe is in pounds, and I can work it in either way. So I'm going to go ahead and do this in pounds and cups. It's easy to translate this to the metric system, if that's what you're familiar with. We need 4 pounds of these onions, 4 tablespoons of olive oil, a cup and a half of sugar, a cup and a half of balsamic vinegar, 2 teaspoons of salt. You can add some pepper. Just think your spice rack, whatever you think is going to be good with these onions, these sweet onion jam. We can add our spices to taste. To begin with, I wouldn't be adding too many spices till you get used to what you kind of get used to this and get it played with. But once you become familiar with it, it's pretty easy to change this up. And actually in this batch, I did not have any balsamic vinegar open, so I used pomegranate. I had a bottle of pomegranate vinegar, and I used that. I have used this golden Italian vinegar in it. I've used apple cider vinegar. All of it will change the taste of it, or not all of it's good. And I'm not going to demonstrate doing this recipe. I think most of us pretty well have an idea how to do this, but I will put this recipe in the description. The first thing we do is we'll take our onions, we'll clean them off, get rid of all this dry skin. We don't want dry skin in there. Cut off the root, chop these onions. How fine or coarse is going to depend on how your tastes are. I chop them a little coarse. You may like them real fine. We will saute these onions in a large skillet, or skillets, depending on the size of your skillet, or a large kettle, until they are caramelized. We want to get a little caramelization on those onions. Not a lot, just a little bit. Then we will add our salt. Just sprinkle our salt on top, mix that in. Add our sugar and our vinegar, and our choices, our pepper and choices of spices. And again, the pepper and the spices, herbs, we do that to taste. And we're not canning this to keep. So we're pretty free, can be pretty free with this. And this keeps about a week to 2 weeks in the fridge. And we simply cook it until thick. Reaches the desired consistency. Like this. It'll be a little bit thinner when we when on the stove, but you get the drift. What we want when it thickens up good, then we just jar it, put our lids on it, let it cool, and then store it in the refrigerator. That's all there is to it. And that's how we can make us a very nice treat of onion jam that we can use on our burgers and sausages. steak on roast. Put it on toast. It's just a very good, sweet, oniony, caramelized onion product that is just wonderful. If you haven't tried it, you might want to give this a try if you got some surplus onions. And as always, if you hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already, go out there, have some fun, get your hands dirty, be safe, and try something new. And above all, keep growing.